Now, let's get to our first guest, Pennsylvania Congressman Guy Reschenthaler. Congressman, always fantastic to welcome you back, sir. Let me ask you to comment on the party that accuses the GOP of being racist, but Democrats' actions define them as racists. But what do you know? Do you think that the Democrats just think I'm a taco here, talking out of turn? What do you think, Congressman?
Well, Chris, I was actually going to ask you, what variety of breakfast taco are you? I'm asking for a friend. Of course, Joe Biden wants to know. I'm looking forward, Chris. I'm looking forward to the day I come to Chris. I'm looking forward to the day I come back to South Texas and there's a liberty-loving breakfast burrito on the menu where I'm going. But just getting back.
Somebody's going to whoa. Somebody's going to make a whole boatload of money off of that. I just want everybody to remember where it came from. Congressman Guy Reschenthaler. There's going to be a liberty-loving taco on somebody's menu. That's awesome, dude. I like that.
Thanks. Well, in all seriousness, this shows you that the inherent bias by the Democratic Party. They're just trying to stereotype an entire block of Americans. And really the stereotype that they're putting on Hispanic. And Chris, this is why Republicans are polling about 55% with Hispanic voters. The Hispanic voters know that the party that is pro-family, the party that is supportive of those who just want to show up and work and live their lives, those are values that the Republican Party has. The Democrat Party looks down upon different voting blocks. They think all these blocks are monolithic. They're not. We Republicans look at people as individuals, and that's why we're about individual rights, freedom, liberty, etc. We see the merit in the individual. Democrats want to divide us into these monolithic groups.
Yep, absolutely. So let's move on to some. Let's get away from the Democrats' racism and talk about something that's harming all of us. The Consumer Price Index, the latest CPI revealing more horrible news for we Americans. Inflation soaring by a whopping 9.1%. That's worse than projected, as you know, Congressman. The White House is defending these numbers, saying that they are, quote, out of date. Just more excuses when we need real policies. Isn't it about the pain of we the people and not Democrats' politics and the impact their policies have on their politics?
What is it, and what's so problematic about inflation, by the way, this is the highest inflation I've ever seen in my lifetime. I was born in the early 80s. We haven't had inflation this high since 81. So truly, when I say that, that's not hyperbole. This is the worst inflation has ever been in my lifetime. Now, as far as the inflation, it's totally tone deaf on Biden and his administration to say that these numbers are old or they're stale. American people don't think they're stale when they see their grocery bill or when they see how much they're paying for gas. Real Americans are hurting. And what's so bad about inflation is that it's the working class, it's those on fixed incomes, retirees, for example, that pay the price. The people that can afford this are the woke yuppies who have the luxury of sitting on Zoom all day and they don't have to get in their cars, or that are so affluent they can adjust with this. They might just not take a third vacation this year. But if you're really trying to make ends meet, if you're a working man or woman, this hurts you. And Democrats purport to represent people who get a shower after work, not before. The opposite is true. The Republicans are the party of the working class. The Democrats have really become the party of coastal elite and affluent woke yup.
Yep, the party of George Soros, that's for sure. Let's talk about your political party, Congressman, the Republican Party, and what they're doing. New poll shows voters abandoning Senator John Cornyn after he and other Republicans voted to placate their left-wing pals in Congress and in the press with our rights, with that gun bill that they passed. New surveillance video out of Uvalde shows it was the police who failed to act. Tell me, Congressman, are these Republican values that they are going to pass laws and policies and take away our rights before all the facts are known?
Well, two thoughts on that, Chris. First and foremost, if you go back to conservatism, going back to Edmund Burke in Great Britain, the whole idea of being a conservative is to be cool, calm, collected, weigh all the facts into evidence, don't rush to judgment, not to be emotional. That's how conservatives should act. So the fact that these few Republicans joined with the Democrats in this hyper emotional time to cram through gun control legislation. That is not conservative. That is what we would expect from liberal activists, not Republicans who are governing and legislating from a place of cold demeanor. Calmer heads should have prevailed. That's number one. Number two, I think that those Republicans were much more concerned about looking out for their next invitation to the cocktail party than they were about the men and women back in their district who like to be law-abiding gun owners. Because I can tell you that when you get here to D.C., a lot of people get concerned with that cocktail circuit and making sure they get the invitation to those, and they lose track of the people back home. I can tell you the people in my district, they can decide for themselves about these issues. They don't need the Democrats coming in and trying to cram down gun control.
Yeah, I'll tell you about Congressman. Cornyn, I'm saddled with John Cornyn here in the great state of Texas. And if I wanted to hire somebody to be my senator to pass laws without knowing all the facts, I'd hire a Democrat to do that. But John Cornyn seems to be lowering himself to the Democrats' level. Congressman Guy Reschenthaler, sir, thank you very much. I appreciate the time here
Thank you, Chris.
on the Salcedo Show.